Man, every time I think that all hope seems lost for Star Wars, in comes the animation division to save the day. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sector for Nerds. Today we're going to talk about Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel and share this video with others to help support the channel. Plenty of great content every single week, so you guys definitely don't want to miss out on any of it. So if I was to give you guys like my overall thoughts on this series, I don't think it was as good as Tales of the Jedi, but it definitely wasn't anywhere near the level of bad that Tales of the Empire was. I thought these episodes, for the most part, were absolutely fantastic. So if we go into the first couple of episodes about Asajj Ventress, now it's very interesting, you guys, because usually the way that they've done it with these Tales of series, right, is they try to do them in the chronological order of which the events take place. At least that's how it was with Tales of the Jedi. But here it was like, all right, we tell the story of Asajj Ventress first, and then we tell the story of Cad Bane. Now I do wonder if the Fortnite event had anything to do with it. Now, for those who don't know, on I believe it was May 2nd, they had this big Fortnite event where you could stream the first two episodes of Tales of the Underworld early before anyone else. I had no idea this was a thing. The only reason I knew it was a thing was because of my brother, and he's a big Fortnite guy. I don't play Fortnite, so I don't know these things. I don't know why you would have... Why would you watch something in the middle of a Fortnite game? I thought Fortnite was a game. Whatever. So I watched these episodes with him, and I gotta tell you, it was a little annoying when all I heard in the background, besides obviously the characters talking, was just like all this random noise in the background. And I was like, what is all this random noise? And he's like, it's just the game going on. I'm like, well, that's stupid. So my viewing experience of the first two episodes was not the greatest. But you know why I had to sit there and watch them is because the opening scene of the first episode was only a playoff of the book Dark Disciple. Just give us the episodes at this point, Dave. They gave us the ending of the book, but with a new twist, and it basically is meant to explain how Ventress is alive. And it's something, I guess. Like, I'm glad they finally explained it. That's what I've been saying here for the longest time. Like, all right, we better have something for why Ventress is still alive. And I don't know if I necessarily like the reasoning, because it was like, well, you've either got two choices. You can either go back to the real world or just join us in the dead. And then it started making me ask the questions of, wait, does every Night Sister have the opportunity to afford this idea? But you know what? I thought that overall, the stories that they told throughout these episodes were pretty good. And now, I do think this obviously took place post-Bad Batch. For those who might be thinking, well, why would you say that, Ryan? Like, there's never necessarily a given clear answer that would determine this. If you guys notice, what were the Imperials that they were going up against in this show? They were stormtroopers, right? You guys go back to Bad Batch. They didn't have stormtroopers in Bad Batch. They were fighting the clones at first, and then what did it become? It became what was known as the TK troopers. Here, there were stormtroopers, hence post-Bad Batch. I am a massive fan of the look of the stormtroopers in the Clone Wars animation. I said this back when they revealed them at the end of Season 7 in that big time jump scene at the end. This is the best that the stormtroopers have looked. Like, better, much better than Rebels. And I'm not even saying that Rebels animation is bad, but like, this is far and above that, in my opinion. This first episode I thought was all right, you know, like the stuff with Ventress and, you know, her having to, you know, come across this kid. They have to survive against stormtroopers, against an Inquisitor. They end up making their escape and stuff. Like, it was a fun episode with an incredible beginning that had like Quinlan Vos and Obi-Wan Kenobi, just absolutely fantastic. Playing off of the events of the end of Dark Disciple, again, changing it up a little bit where Ventress is given the choice, bringing back the voice of Mother Talzin as well. You know what's kind of funny, you guys, is back when Andor Season 1 came out, we were given Tales of the Jedi in the middle of that, and here we're given Tales of the Underworld in the middle of Andor Season 2. It's kind of ironic. It's actually given me some good Star Wars content to talk about, because oh man, I mean, y'all watch my Andor videos. You guys know how I feel about it. I will say, I thought that the second Ventress episode was kind of lackluster, even though it had Lotsarazzi and Heisinger in it, and I was very excited to see those two bounty hunters back. I don't think this episode hit in the way that I thought it was going to. I think part of it is because I was expecting like all of them to actually be on the same page and actually be cool with each other, where in the end it just felt like Lotz and Heisinger were just kind of using Ventress for their own means and vice versa. So in that regard, I don't know if I necessarily liked that episode that much, but the third episode, you guys, the third episode of this Ventress installment was so good. We got Ventress and this kid who I think we should also point out, if I haven't yet already, is a freaking Jedi. He had a lightsaber. They revealed that in the first episode. I was like, oh my gosh, all right, we're really doing this right now. Ventress is going to have like her own little apprentice now. Basically, what they end up becoming by the end of this episode is they end up becoming really good buddies. They're basically searching for the path, right? And these whole episodes here from like 1 to 3 are pretty much setting up the idea that Ventress is going to reunite with Quinlan Vos, which is why I was then kind of upset at the end when they didn't reunite. But I'm going to tell you why I think it's okay for right now. If there are plans, and my brother and I actually talked about this because the way that this episode ended felt like they were setting something else up. So the idea is they get to the path, Ventress and this boy separate, right? Like the boy's going to go on the ship. He's going to go to Quinlan. Ventress is just going to go away. She's not going to interact with anybody, and she's just going to go her own path. So Ventress starts to leave. She sees the ship leave, but then running back from behind was the boy that she was with. And it's like, I thought you decided to go, and then, he chooses to stay with Ventress, or then he missed the ship, either or. I'm just going to chalk it up for now as the kid chose to stay. And there was no Quinlan. We don't even know if Quinlan was down there at the shuttle. But what I think they might be setting up is a series about Ventress and this boy. And these episodes were almost like pilot episodes to test out and see like if this would work. And in my opinion, I thought they did. I actually really liked this episode, meeting this person, like an older fellow and his granddaughter. We find out that the grandfather was a separatist, and the grandfather gets angry when they don't bring back the water because they get caught into a trap. They were apparently stealing the water from other people. And these other people, like these aliens, they're willing to negotiate with this guy to work something out. But the grandfather is so caught up in all the war stuff, right? That he's like, I must do this for my people, for the separatists. That's why he's so supportive of Ventress, because he's like, man, you were one of us, Ventress. You were Dooku's right-hand person. You with us, man. You know what I'm saying? But then, when he finds out that this kid is a Jedi, he's like, oh my gosh, it's a Jedi. No, Jedi, I have to kill you. This is, you're my enemy. But Ventress like, no, this is my friend. She does care. And basically showing this guy hey, look, the war's behind us now. It's time to just put it behind, move on. And eventually, the grandfather puts down the blaster, and it seems like he's willing to negotiate. That's incredible that those people were willing to negotiate even after their water was being stolen. Hey, we can come up with a business deal. We can work something out instead of just trying to kill everybody involved, Very well done. I thought of these 3 episodes, the last one was definitely my favorite, but that scene at the beginning with the Dark Disciple tie-ins was also pretty dang cool. I will say, I don't know if I necessarily liked the way that Quinlan looked. I wish they would have just kept to the style of animation with him that they had in the animated series, but they also changed up Obi-Wan's look as well for Tales of the Empire, or for Tales of the Jedi. Why, I don't know. So yeah, if this is setting up a story for Ventress and this boy, I don't know if we ever get the boy's name or not. I've already forgotten, but if we ever get a series, maybe a 1 or 2 season or 3 season series about these guys, I would be willing to let this whole thing play out of the idea of Ventress and Quinlan Vos reuniting. And I think it's definitely a possibility. Again, I think, I know some of y'all might think oh, Ryan, you're saying let it play out too much. You're giving them too much credit and stuff. I think when it comes to anything involving the animation division, I'm willing to let it play out because of how much I love the content that they give us over there. You guys know how much I love the Clone Wars, how much I love Rebels. I think Bad Batch is a really good show. Tales of the Jedi was really good. I talk about when it comes to more recent Star Wars projects that we've gotten a lot more L's than we have W's. But I think when you look at the overall win-loss record of wins to losses for the animation division, I think we've got way more W's than we have L's. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. And dude, with this new Darth Maul series that they've got coming up next year, I'm like, dude, okay, there's no chance they ruin this, right? There's no way. But you know what, you guys? For as much as I liked the Asajj Ventress episodes, the one thing that massively surprised me is how much I loved these Cad Bane episodes, and I'm talking all 3 of them. This story was so damn good. It's the story of 2 boys that start out as street rats, one of which, Cad Bane, of course. They get brought in by this bad guy, sends them on a mission. One boy gets captured, the other boy escapes with the bad guys. The bad guys raise this one child, of course being Cad Bane. He becomes a part of their clique, their squad. He even gets himself a nice girlfriend. The other boy becomes a deputy, and the deputy's mentor, the marshal, kills the bad kid's mentor. And then that boy that loses his mentor gets revenge by killing the marshal, the good boy's mentor. And the bad boy's girlfriend betrays him, only to then find out later that the girl that used to be with the bad clique married the deputy who is now the new marshal, and they have a kid. But then as it turns out, the kid isn't actually his, it's the kid of his former friend. Only then for that kid to watch the person that he thinks is his father gets killed by his real father. This was so freaking crazy. And it's crazy because, like, as my brother and I were watching this episode, he was pretty much calling every single thing that was going to happen. That the girl was going to marry the new marshal, that the kid was going to end up being Cad Bane's, which obviously I was kind of sitting there thinking that too. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, of course it makes sense because, like, hence why he's like, well, you know, both of them are like light green, you know, skin color or whatever, but the kid is like dark blue like Cad Bane. So of course it's Cad Bane's kid. But, like, what a fantastic story to, like, set up an origin for Cad Bane. I didn't know what to expect coming out of these Cad Bane episodes. I was like, the Cad Bane episodes, yeah, it should be okay. Like, I'm more interested in the Ventress stuff. But coming out of it, like, I was much more of a fan of the Cad Bane episodes overall than I was the Ventress episodes. And I love this whole thing because it's like episode 1 is basically Cad Bane as a little kid, right? And telling that story. Then episode 2, I would say he's probably like more of a teenager, right? Getting involved with the crew, being in the swing of things. And then episode 3, I would say he's kind of like a young adult, maybe in his like 20s, something like that. And that whole episode, like, everybody's telling the marshal, we don't see Cad Bane show up in the 3rd episode until like close to the end, but everybody's telling him, hey, Marshall, Bane got out of prison. You need to go. Like, you need to get your family to safety. Everybody's trying to warn him about this. They're like, hey, you need to kill this guy. And the marshal is so hesitant and nobody knows why. But then when you find out at the end, like, who this child is and the fact that it's actually Bane's kid and not the marshal's, it makes all the sense in the world. He doesn't want to have to kill this child's father. Bane had no problem doing it, though. Bane had 2 gunslinger standoffs in these episodes, and the first of which was in the 2nd episode with the old marshal, who was, you know, his former friend's mentor. And the only reason that he got killed is he kind of got distracted Cobb Vanth style. And this was actually something I called during the episode. I'm like, oh, dude, this guy's going to get distracted just like Cobb Vanth did. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And that's where Bane was able to get the jump on him. With the 3rd episode and him going up against his former friend, Bane definitively beat him. Now, granted, he used 2 blasters, but I mean, still, like, you know, the guy still could have landed his shot, right? Cad Bane landed both of his, but like the icing on the cake for this story in like the most beautiful moment, and this is my favorite part of these episodes, is when Bane walks up to him and he says, you've taken everything from me. His livelihood, his girl. This is all what's going through Bane's mind. And new marshal, aka his old friend, looks up and he kind of puts his hand on the child and he says, not everything. The child looks at Cad Bane with tears in his eyes, and Bane realizes in that moment what his old friend was talking about. And as the child looks away, and this happens for maybe all of like 2 seconds, Cad Bane reaches his hand out as if like he wants to be there for this kid because he knows now that it's his own. And he wants to be there to help him, but he knows, like, he immediately puts it back down and pretty much walks away right afterward as a woman runs out and says, keep away from him. He just scarred this kid for life, right? Like, he killed the man who he thought his father was, like, right in front of him. He knew that this kid, like his own child, wasn't going to accept him after that. What a crazy freaking story. These episodes had like a crazy old Western feel in the middle of Star Wars. And I think that's a lot of like, when you look at The Mandalorian, a lot of that is centered on like old Western themes, but giving it the new school, new era sort of feel. I absolutely adored these episodes. Oh my gosh. Dude, I needed this, man. I needed some good stories. This wasn't a story about the Force or about lightsabers or anything like that, right? This was about a man that we all know to be one of the best bounty hunters, if not the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, and how he came to be. I thought this was so well told. And now it started making me ask questions of like, okay, well, we've now set up that there's a little Cad Bane out there. I almost wonder if they did this because it's like, oh crap, well, we killed Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett, so we can't use him anymore. What if we just said that he had a child out there or something, and now we'll just have him running around as like the new Cad Bane? I could see that being a thing. Either way, you guys, I really enjoyed these episodes. Thumbs up, Lucasfilm. Animation Division saves the day again. That's going to wrap us up for today, you guys. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about these episodes. Did you like them? Did you not like them? Which one's your favorite? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.